All right, so I'm making this video because I keep getting asked, and I know I'm gonna keep getting asked what happens to Dean. So in this video, I'm gonna try to answer why he left, events leading up to that, and why me and him aren't talking anymore, and maybe answer some questions that need to be answered. I know they said there's the he said, she said, and then there's the truth. I'm gonna try to tell y'all the truth. I have an hour-long that he consented to video recording, phone call of me and him talking. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew people would ask. I asked him, I was like, hey, can I get this in recording? So when people ask, we have the truth. Like, there's no he said, she said. Like, it's all here. So I'm gonna start with why he left. He quit because this is exactly what he told me. Him and his girlfriend got into a big argument because she found the page that we had, and she didn't like the sus content, the stuff that we was doing. And basically they got into a big argument. He was like, nah, it ain't gay, we ain't gay, y'all know I'm straight, like what the hell, stuff like that. And then apparently he said it deaded, but then she went to her friends and showed her friends, and her friends said, well, yeah, it's funny, but da 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 da. They said some shit too. So it got him in his head, and he was like, y'all know I'm not gay, y'all know it's just jokes. Which, come on, gay jokes have been since the end of time, you know what I mean? And it's insinuated. Y'all know it's all fake anyway. Like, what the hell? It's not like, there's some shit on TikTok, bro, that is borderline. Like, I've seen some crazy such shit. Ours is tame compared to the shit I've seen on TikTok. But anyways, it's neither here nor there. So he said, then she brought up his mom's, like, what would your mom think, your brother think, your job, what about your job? Your job's gonna, find out and then fire you. And he said that he finally caved and was like, well, yeah, I guess. And then went to his job, and he said he looked up his job, and social media is up there for the content we make, so he doesn't want to lose his job. So that's what I was told. That's the bare bones of it. His girl and literally admitted that she's insecure about it. Also, that the attention we're getting, that the females are leaving inappropriate comments and asking if we have girlfriends and stuff like that, and she doesn't like that. So she doesn't like that it's sus, and the attention we're getting from females. Insecurity. Literally, I have it on the phone call. But now, let's talk about some events leading up to that, or some questions people might have asked. Dean, when I first started doing the sus content, I did it by myself because I was never going to put Dean in a situation that made him uncomfortable. Never, right? When we did skits, we was just doing regular skits. And then I was like, I get asked a lot what made us do the cheeks content, but I'll talk about that in another video. But anyways, when I started leaning on that, I was like, yo, what if I get a signature and I just do that? Well, I did it by myself. And that blew up. Y'all loved it. Y'all fucked with it. Y'all were like, yo, this is crazy. It's out of pocket. It lived up to our name. Ayo Skits. Ayo. So I made that, right? And it blew up. So I revisited. I was like, look, bro, are you fine with being in this type of content? Because it's blowing up. I would really like you to be the face of it with me. And he was like, yeah, bro, I don't care. Stuff like that. Literally said it. Never, I always took him out of stuff, right? But then I was like, look, we're blowing up. Do you want to be in it? He said yes. He was like, hell yeah. I was like, all right, yeah, because it's not nothing crazy, right? Like, it's just jokes. He's like, yeah, I know, like, that's our humor. So he fucked with it. Well, periodically, like later down the line, like we were shooting videos. We already got millions of likes, millions of views, stuff like that. I talked to him and his girlfriend. I was like, look, we're getting kind of bigger. What if eventually we take off and we're start making good money? Would y'all want to get a house together so me and him can do more content? I can retire you from your job, retire him from the job, and we can retire. Well, she started dropping hints right here. She was like, no, if I'm starting to build a family with this man, I don't want to be with somebody that's focusing on that, right? And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, I just want him to myself if we're having a kid and we're trying to build a marriage together. And I was like, well, I only use his face. I barely, I only get him periodically. Like, I don't force him to do nothing. Like, I get him here and there. Like, I told him I don't need him full time. I just need his face. You know what I'm saying? Blow up with me. I'll help us blow up together. Like, just let me do all the work. And she was like, no, I don't like that. She was just basically hinting at it. I was like, well, what do you mean? I was like, because me and him shooting content, we only do it when we hang. You saying we can't hang? She was like, no, she was repeating herself. So I was like, fuck it. And I talked to Dean. I was like, look, bro, don't let her get in your head. I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't let her, you know what I'm saying, come between it. Like, it's not that deep. Like, she was basically just leaving hints, right? And then there was one day when we recorded the 10K video, she said something again. Actually, no, she said something about the girls, because she was seeing the live and the comments girls were leaving, like, oh, do y'all have girlfriends, and y'all are so cute, and I've never, you know what I'm saying, just the shit they say. And she didn't like that. And then it was fast forward again. We were shooting our 10K video and we were joking, and she heard what we were talking about. She's like, y'all aren't doing anything sus up there, are y'all? And he was like, well, no, we normally do something. He was explaining it to her. And then when we went to the car, because I was leaving his house, I was like, hey, bro, don't let her get in your head, bro. You know what we doing. It ain't nothing like that. She had mentioned his job too. And I was like, look, is your job saying anything, or are you worried about your job? I will take him down. He said no. On everything I love, he said no. I said, are you sure, bro? I don't want to put you in a bind like that, because she had brought it up. I was like, if you're worried about that too, talk to me. Tell me. Dean has a problem. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you can tell me, bro. He was like, nah, bro, we're good. My bosses don't have social media, this and that. Literally, swear it, bro. I'm not, come on now. I ain't got no reason to lie. I have, like I said, I have video, recordings. He was like, nah, bro. And Dean, by the way, has come up with these video ideas too. It wasn't just me. Yes, I come up with some. He comes up with some. He's coming out with some out-of-pocket ones. But we went to the car. I was like, bro, don't worry about that. I was like, da-da-da-da-da. He was like, nah, we're good. A week later, that's when I get the call. He was like, yeah, bro, she's not liking it. We got into a big argument, what I told y'all before, and was like, yeah, so I just want to quit. And I was like, are you, like, you know what I mean? Everything I just told y'all, I was like, like you told me that wasn't your boss, you know what I'm saying, your job, you weren't worried about it, you didn't care, nothing like that. I was like, I can understand if we was doing this for like 100 fucking viewers, like, and 1,000 likes, or not even 1,000 likes. Like, you just doing it for the love of the game, and that's dumb. But we're doing something. Y'all love it. People love it. We make people laugh. That's all I want to do. So, you know what I'm saying? I could see she could have some validity. Not that she's not valid or he's not valid, but it would have more validity if it wasn't going nowhere. So he hit me and was like, yeah, I don't want to do it. And I asked him, I said, all right, fuck all that. Because like I said, he got an argument. He was telling him, nah, he still wants to do it. I asked him myself, I said, do you want to do it? Would you rather do your job or come over here and do this? He's like, man, honestly, I'd rather do that. So I was like, what the fuck? And then he was just like, look, it's not worth the headache. I don't want to keep doing it. I was like, all right, bro. Now let me lean into why me and him aren't talking, right? We aren't talking because I sat 2 days on it. After we had that conversation, I sat and thought about it for 2 days. And me and Dean haven't always had the best friendship. Like, it's been spotty. Not saying he's a bad friend, because he's been there for me for some really good shit and some really tough times. But like, as far as like us just like being the best of friends, hanging out, doing stuff, it's like pulling teeth for me and him to hang. Like, we've had several conversations about it. This rain is OD. We've had several conversations about it. And basically where I'm going with this is, when he told me he doesn't want to do the skits, I did ask Dean if he was down to do regular skits. Let me start here. Dean, I was like, hey, would you down to do regular skits if we cut the, I delete the sus skits and all that? He was like, yeah. All right, put a pin in that. I know y'all gonna be like, well, damn, why'd you stop doing skits with him if he said he'll do regular skits? Let me explain. That wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. His girlfriend has already been admitted to being insecure about it. She does not like the content. She doesn't like the attention we get. She literally said, I was okay with y'all doing it because I didn't think you were going to go anywhere. She didn't believe in the vision, which is cool. I don't hold no resentment for that. A lot of people aren't going to believe in it. I don't give a fuck. I genuinely don't care. But she was like, I didn't think you were going to make it, but now that you made it, I don't like it. I don't like the attention you're getting from females, stuff like that, and the sus content. So when I thought about that, I was like, well, if we do regular skits, we're not going to be able to do that either. She's going to come in between that too. So I was like, we can't do that. And then I told him, I was like, it's really gonna suck because I don't like his girl. It's obvious. I don't like his girl. We have butted heads. This is not the first time she's come between us as friends. It's the third time, by the way. And I'm gonna try to keep it related to the skits, not personal, but just know, yes, it's not the first time this has happened between us. I personally feel she is the problem. So I told him, I said, well, look, bro, if you take into account all of that, me and him basically had a terrible foundation. This is what he told me. He like did some self-reflection. He was like, damn, the reason we don't hang is because when we used to hang all the time, our foundation was built off of drugs and alcohol. I feel like this fucking rain is trying to get louder as I'm talking. He said our foundation was built off of drugs and alcohol. And I was like, well, damn, bro. And I stopped drinking. I don't smoke, drink, do none of that no more, right? I've been clean for a while because I've had past problems. And I was like, well, damn. I mean, we were working on, not to bore y'all with the details, but I was like, are we working on a new foundation? Let's do the skits thing. Let's blow up doing skits, and you know what I'm saying? Let's just continue from there. You know what I mean? And he had thought about that. So let's fast forward to what I'm talking about now. Our relationship hasn't been the best. Our skits was already like pulling teeth to do it, right? Not because he didn't want to do it, but it's just hard to get him because he's so attached to that goddamn girl, bro. At least from what outsider looking in and everything I'm always told, I think he's attached. They're fucking attached at the hip, which is not good anyway. So I thought about all this, and the fact that I don't like her, and I was like, look, if that's the one you plan on spending your life with, that's the one you're trying to have kids with, I know me and her butt heads. She doesn't like me. I don't like her. I'm not going to be able to see the kids. I'm not going to be able to be the godfather. I'm not going to be invited to the wedding. I'm not going to be, be able to come around. It's going to put you in a bad predicament because you got to, you know what I'm saying? It's just not going to be good for you. So I pulled myself away, trying to be a good friend. I said, look, if I'm your best friend, I can't be in your ear. Yeah, leave that bitch, bro. She's weird. You're done with her. Leave her every 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? You don't need that, especially if you're trying to grow old with this lady. I'm just going to remove myself. And, like I said, the skits, she's not going to want us doing the skits thing. And that's what we've been doing together while we hang out. We do other shit, we chill, but we've been doing the skits to try to, get big and do Twitch. We're not going to be able to do that. She's going to come in the way of that. She's literally already admitted that she doesn't like it. She doesn't like the attention we're getting. So we get bigger, she's not going to like it, even if it isn't sus content. That's what I'm trying to explain. So there's that. And then the fact that, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I can be his friend or be a good friend to him if I'm just constantly in his ear. Yo, leave her. She's not good. Y'all are in a bad relationship. I don't think it's going to last. He don't deserve that. So I was like, look, I'll just pull myself away. And if you ever decide to leave her, I'm here. Still got love for you, bro. But I don't want to be around, especially, you know how like you got somebody coming to you bitching about something and they don't do nothing about it? How can I help you? If you come to me with your problems about the relationship. You know what I mean? I don't want to be around. I feel like I'm watching my friend self-destruct. I don't like it. I've literally told him that several times. I've been vocal to him about everything. I've never kept anything from him. Now, to answer some questions that I think people have, somebody asked me, was it just his girlfriend? Are they married or stuff like that? No, that was just his girlfriend while this was going on. He proposed like not even 2 weeks ago, I think. They just got engaged. So you see what I'm saying? We've been doing the content, all that, been homies way before. You know what I'm saying? But that's just now his fiance. So that's another reason I'm pulling myself away. I was like, look, you doing your thing. I don't want to become between it. Am I still cool with him? Well, no, we're not cool. But do I still have love for him? That is my brother. I love him to death. I really, really wanted to do this skits thing with him and take over the world. Like, I wanted to do this with the bro. Go to do Twitch, YouTube. Just like, I wanted us to be the next big thing together, man. I really wanted to do this with the brother. Like I told y'all earlier, like there was times where he would quit. He was like, look, I can't devote my time to it. And I was like, all right, fine. And then I got big. I started blowing up on my own. I revisited. I was like, hey, bro, can you please come back? Like, I'm going big. Like, I would want you to be here. And he was like, hell yeah. So I still got love for him. He says there's still love for me. Yeah. I think I covered everything. I feel like I did. Sorry if I yapped. I didn't use no script or nothing. I was just trying to talk from the heart. I could just refer people to this video now when they ask, where's Dean, or what happened, or why aren't y'all cool? But yeah, that's my side. I guess if I didn't answer something, just ask in the comments or something like that, I guess. So I forgot to add this post. What's next? Am I gonna add somebody? I don't know. I've asked around. It's gonna be hard to replace Dean. I really wanted to do this with the Brody, man. That's like, it's my brother, my best friend, man. But I've asked around, and funny enough, now when I ask them, I'm asking these people's girls, their wives. Some of these people have wives and kids, and I'm asking their wives, hey, would you be fine with if I did this with him? And they're like, yeah, we don't give a fuck. Like, they're literally, everybody I've asked has literally told me, yeah, we don't care. It's just jokes. Like, what the hell? They joke too. They make the same jokes. And I'm just like, it just, you know what I'm saying? It makes me feel valid. I'm like, all right, so I know it's not, I know everybody knows it's a joke. You got a couple weirdos that don't think, you know what I'm saying, that try to make it something different, but even their girls are okay with it. So I'm asking around about a replacement. I'm trying to see where I want to go and what I want to do next. I might just do solo venture for right now, see where it goes. But yeah, I'm asking around. I am gonna keep going. I just solo or with the group, I don't know yet, but peace, y'all.